Hey everybody, I'm just going to start this commentary with a little introduction. My name's Zach. I'm kind of stepping in for Ted since he's been a pretty busy person this year, so he's had to step down, and I'm kind of interim head coach of the Gallades. So I was thrown in this week, and they said, you're playing Evan. So I immediately had to prepare and started running into this, and we can get right into it. So I'm going to start this battle now. So Evan's team is pretty scary. There's a couple different routes he can take them, but he seems to always want to bring Ferrothorn and always bring Tapu Koko. And he usually leads with Ferrothorn or tries to get some kind of hazard control. So I lead off with Nidoking here, and you can already see that his rocket is out, and he probably predicted I'd lead with Nidoking, so I had to get out of there right now to something that could take a psychic move. So Louis here can take psychic hits all day, and we'll see that right now. So I know this Latias probably has Thunderbolt, but my Louis is Assault Vested and I can take one. And I'm kind of building around a cool set on Louis, but they swap out. He's afraid of something, or he either just wants to set up hazards immediately. But I Dragon Tail. So Iron Barbs there's a little bit. And then it brings out Tapu Koko, which is probably worst case scenario for me as Louis standing here, so he needs to immediately run away. So Louis comes out, and I'm expecting a Thunderbolt. He plays pretty safe normally in the beginnings, so I'm going to come into something that can take a Thunderbolt. But he just U-turns, which is also another safe play. Gives him switch initiative. And I was actually already writing down U-turn before this turn because I knew it was going to happen. So then here comes Colgate, and we all know it's going to set up. Colgate Dragon Dances and has a fun time with my team, so I have to immediately assess this threat and go out to Birdo. And because Birdo has Roar, so I did not expect Substitute on this set, I just expected Dragon Dance. So when Sub came out, it was a little bit scary, but this 1,000 Arrows come out, does like 25% to Birdo, and then Birdo can finally, or initially roar this thing out so that this Dragon Dance, or this Sub is gone, and I don't have to worry about a Dragon Dance right now. So it brings out Rocket. Interesting matchup. He's probably going to Thunderbolt me, but again, from what I said earlier, I know that Louis can take a Thunderbolt. It'll hurt, but Louis can take one, and I can dish out some hits of my own. So he's going to take one. Does more than I expected, but that's because Electric Terrain was up. I didn't consider that. And then I got paralyzed, so it was pretty unfortunate. I'm slow anyway, but I have to deal with this 25% to paralyze every time I go for a move. So another Thunderbolt comes out. I live it because Electric Terrain's gone. And immediately I'm fully paralyzed. I see that 25% right out the gates. So I have to swap out. Louis has Regenerator, so he'll get some health back. And then come out the Dark Claws. He's going to Thunderbolt again, I'm assuming, and he did. So then I have Dark Claws out right now, and I basically get a free knockoff on anything that comes in. So here comes Three-Peat. Three-Peat has always had leftovers in all the previous matches, so I know I'm knocking off that reliable recovery. I take some Iron Barbs damage, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. So then I have to immediately swap out. I know he's probably going to try to set up Stealth Rock, so I wanted to get Deku in before you could even get Stealth Rocks down, so I didn't take any of that damage. And right now, he knows he's kind of in trouble with Deku in front of him. He's got to swap out to something that can assess the threat that Gallade has. So he goes out into Rage Quit, and I Swords Dance because I see nothing that he has comes out and one-shots me immediately, even if it's Scarfed. So even if this thing is Scarfed, I'd be playing with a little fire because it would be Scarfed Serene Grace Air Slash. But I play with the fire anyway, I guess. And I go for my own Psycho Cut, which has a high chance to crit. I was hoping for a crit, but judging from that damage, even a crit wouldn't have killed. It would have got him down to the red. The Air Slash comes in. I live it like I knew I would. And he has to make a decision here. He either has to let this Togekiss go or let something else come in and take another Psycho Cut. And I am assuming he doesn't have much else that outspeeds. But we'll find out later that I am wrong. So Betty Crocker comes in. So he took a really long time to bring Betty Crocker in. which made me think that he wasn't so sure if he should bring it in or not. I figured if it was scarfed, he would immediately throw it in, and I kind of took a gamble there. I didn't want to immediately lose that Swords Dance I had if he wasn't scarfed. It would have been a misplay in my half if I had taken it out and he wasn't scarfed. So you live and you learn. So then I know he overheats and drops his special attack, so Louis can come in and do what he wants, and he gets fully paralyzed again. So there I was going to go for a Future Sight. I thought Future Sight would be a fun little move to run this week, force him to play around something he might not be so used to. But I don't get it off, and I have to swap out to something that can handle this Ferrothorn, and I get knocked off. So Nidoking's Assault Vest is gone, and Betty Crocker comes back out. So I go for Ice Beam, because I knew he's not going to stay in with Ferrothorn. I'm not going to Flamethrower, and I thought maybe Latias or Zygarde would come out in response to a Flamethrower, so I Ice Beamed instead. But Rotom Heat is also an equally good switch into a Flamethrower. So I come out into Baby. I know another Scarfed Overheat is coming. And there it is. It hurts really bad. But Baby is Scarfed, so I know I can Volt Switch out of here. And just do that. And I know his special attack is lowered. I Volt Switch. I can come back into Louis and kind of restart this whole cycle again. So I know that this Overheat's going to do like 10 points of damage. It actually did 19. And his special attack is even lower. He's forced to swap here, so I can get a free Future Sight off if I want. If it goes through this time. And it does. So I get that Future Sight off. So in a couple turns, he's going to take Future Sight damage. So I'm trying to work around that. I expected him to try to play around that, maybe bring his Latias out for it or something. So I brought Birdo out to kind of control that, and he Leech Seeds Birdo. One issue on my team is I have nothing that can avoid a Leech Seed. I didn't have grass types to really play around, so he had free Leech Seed over my entire team. So he takes some health, or some HP back, and I'm going to just swap right out to Tyrant, because he may not know this, and I'm not sure, but if he ran max Special Defense Ferrothorn, a Flamethrower actually would not one-shot the Ferrothorn. So that Future Sight damage puts it in a range where I would kill with Flamethrower. So now I will kill with Flamethrower, and that's kind of what I was playing around. And he comes back out to Betty Crocker, same play he made before. So I Flamethrower here. Since it's Sheer Force, it does a decent amount of damage. But I know he's Scarfed, and I know he's going to Overheat again. So I have to go to something that'll take it. Dark Claws won't appreciate it a whole lot, but he'll take it. And then with the special attack drop, I'd be okay. But luckily, he missed. I got pretty lucky on that turn. So it gave me a turn of momentum here where I can get some of these rocks off. He brings out his Stealth Rocker that same turn. I mean, if he wanted to, he could set it right back up, but they're off the field for now. So then Tyrant comes right back in. So I keep trying to scare this thing away before it can set up hazards. So I get Leech Seeded. He's going to swap into something again, I assume. And if I make the wrong prediction, then it doesn't do much damage and I lose more health to Leech Seed. So I'm going to hard swap, expecting him to swap. So it's like a quick double swap out into Louis, because I figure Louis could take something from anyone. But he doesn't swap out. He puts up Stealth Rocks. He really prioritized that. So Louis has Fire Blast. And I got paralyzed again. The 25% came right back. So I was actually talking to Evan after this, and he was saying he didn't expect the Fire Blast because he hadn't seen it yet. And that Fire Blast doing the calcs would have one-shotted, because that's a modest Fire Blast from a Slowking. So, oh well, unlucky. So he takes out 6-pack, and you'll see how much damage this Fire Blast does. I mean, Tapu Koko's not exactly a bulky mon, but it does a good amount of damage. It's not a stab move or anything. And Fire Blast does over half the Tapu Koko. He'll take some of my Leech Seed health, which brings him up pretty considerably. He doesn't have a lot of HP. So swap out the Tyrant. It's kind of the main answer I had to this Tapu Koko, and he Thunderbolts, which is what I was expecting. He was playing safe because he had the upper hand. There's no reason for him to go for anything crazy. And I was also expecting some hidden power, and with my Assault Vest knocked off, and he's not a very speedy mon because I brought Assault Vest, so I kind of let him go. And I knew that Baby could come in, and it's Choice Scarfed, and I could hurt this Koko really pretty badly. So he swaps out, and I had a feeling he would know I could hurt the Koko and he would swap out. So I went for something that would still hit the Zygarde. It wouldn't give him a free turn, so I didn't want to go for an electric move in this terrain. It's a little too tempting. It's like so I go for Extrasensory, and I have to go for it again because I can't let him get a free sub or a free Dragon. Little do I know I do that, and he has an Peppa Berry, brings him all the way back up to the green, and he does get a free Dragon Dance pretty much. So now he's at about 75% with the Dragon Dance up, and he still might not outspeed. I don't know what set he's running, so I think he just E-speeds for just to be sure, finishes Baby off. So at this point I know he's got Lance Rat, speed, or sorry, 1,000 Arrows E-speed, substitute, and Dragon Dance. So he comes in 1,000 Arrows. I know I can live this even after Dragon Dance. It won't live on a lot, but I'll still live, and I can roar him out. So get rid of that Dragon Dance. We'll save that for another day. So 3P comes back in, get a little bit of leftovers. So at this point, I'm in a lot of trouble. I only have 3 left. 3 mons to his 5. And I'm really just trying to work around this team to get as good of a differential as I can. So I defog the rocks away so I don't take more damage from that. He's really good at keeping rocks up and controlling hazards, so I kept switching in and out, and I wasn't so worried about rocks on Louis since he has Regenerator, but the rest of the team really suffered. So here comes Dark Claws. No rocks. If he Thunderbolts, I'll live it, or I'll be immune to it, sorry. So I thought he had HP Ice that he used on Nidoking earlier, and I was expecting that to come out, and I think I would still live it, which may be why he didn't go for it, but I swapped anyway. And we're back at this stalemate. So he knows I have after I got paralyzed. So he's going to come out to Rocket, and I'm paralyzed again. I was going to use Future Sight that time to do set up another turn where I could get some extra damage off all at once. And then he crits me with a Thunderbolt in the terrain that hurts really, really bad. And I have to Dragon Tail him out. The crit may have made it a little more difficult, but I think he was still in range to 2-hit KO me, even if it wasn't a crit. So he goes for a trick here, I think expecting me to swap out and keep my Regenerator, but I actually just Scald here to try to finish this off. And I get paralyzed again. So I think that's 5 turns, 5 out of 8 turns I've been paralyzed. It's pretty unlucky. Welcome to the league. So now that's Assault Vest Rotom, which is also a pretty decent set, I guess. And then Colgate comes in. All I have are my walls left. He can basically just come in and start attacking or setting up Dragon Dances. So I thought I would just Toxic him, but he was very keen to that idea and made sure to substitute. So I couldn't Toxic him, and he started setting up Dragon Dances. So the next few turns are going to be a lot of back and forth. He's going to set up a lot of Dragon Dances, and I'm going to try to break his sub with Knockoff because it's the only attacking move I brought on Gligar this week, because Gligar was really a utility mon for me. And he sets up like 5 Dragon Dances in the end because he has to. Even after 4 or 5 Dragon Dances, it doesn't one-shot Gligar, so you can see why he has to do that. It's not like him being rude or showing bad manners. He actually really does have to set up that many Dragon Dances to ensure a 2-hit KO. But at this point, he's just kind of cleaning up. Skarmory can't do anything to this Zygarde, especially after so many Dragon Dances. And Gligar's just in here to try to see if I could Toxic him and pick him off a little bit. I guess my live commentary will end here. The match is still going to go for a few more turns, so I guess thanks for everyone that invited me into this league and let me start playing. I was saying this was a real baptism of fire brought in against the undefeated guy in the league, but I think I did well. I don't think I necessarily misplayed too much. There were definitely misplays where I just let Mons go and I underestimated their value in the matchup. But, you know, you live and you learn. I might make sure I don't lose them in the future. And I will always remember the 25% chance to get fully paralyzed. So, yeah, here goes another Dragon Dance. I don't know where we are at this point. Yeah, okay. So this is going to be cleaning it up. Good match to Evan. He was expected to come in and really show me how this league is working, and he did. But in the end, it'll be a 5-0. I tried to do Ted's team some justice, and I know Evan has 6-0'd some people, so hey, at least I got one. So here comes the 1,000 arrows I was talking about. So I'm at full after so many Dragon Dances. I still live 1,000 arrows. So he actually did have to set up all those Dragon Dances. We had to go through this whole process. But at this point, he can now just 1,000 arrows everything. So here's this one. Gligar is going to go down, and then Skarm's going to come in with like a quarter HP. Nothing that it can really do. So here comes that, and Birdo's down. So it ends a 5-0. Again, thank you to everyone for letting me join the league, and I hope I can do the Goldenrod City Gallades some justice. I'm going to get right into next week with a couple trades and see if I can really make this team work. Bye.